Hey everybody, this is Jared here on TMG coming at you today with a very special video because I was able to secure a Magic Final Fantasy pre-release kit at a very reasonable price, might I add. So in this video we're going to be opening this bad boy up, seeing what we get, and I'm also going to be showing you guys how to build a sealed deck for your next pre-release. Before we open this bad boy, if you like this video or my content in general, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm very close to my goal of 500 subscribers. Every subscriber counts here, and if you want to come along for this little journey of mine, really appreciate that. But now, let's open this pre-release kit up. Now, the difference between this pre-release kit, or this past pre-release, and the Dragonstorm, Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release, oh, that's pretty neat, I enjoy that, is that these kits are not factionalized. So that means like with the Dragonstorm pre-release kits, you had to choose basically your color combination before you even opened up your product. With this one, you don't know what you're gonna get. There's no seeded pack, it's just 6 booster packs of Final Fantasy plus the promo card and this cool little dice here. So let's put that to the side. Cool little green and black die here. Oh, interesting. They put, instead of putting a 1 here, they put the Planeswalker symbol. I think that's pretty neat, but also confusing because the 20 is the Final Fantasy symbol, so if you don't already know which one's which, whatever. It's fine. But let's see what we pulled out of here. So, before I even take a look at our pre-release card, the pre-release kit does come with this little insert, so if you don't really know or not sure about what kind of cards or like how many cards you want to put in your pre-release deck, this little insert will help you do what needs to be done. Also has a cool little artwork on here in case you want to collect the artwork. But yeah, basically we're going to be following this general guide. I don't follow it one-to-one, but it is very helpful for new players and returning players who may have lost touch. But here we got this cool little insert, and we got the Fire Crystal as our pre-release promo. So that's pretty neat. We may or may not play this promo, but that is a very good start. So here we got our 6 packs of Final Fantasy. I heard there was some issue with these things, like there were like not enough packs in some of these pre-release kits. I haven't seen that personally, but I heard that was a problem like last month. Also, why am I doing this like over a month past like the pre-release date? I was able to find one for a reasonable price, and I was like, why not buy it? Make more content. Always be making content. At least try to. Typically what I do whenever I start building a sealed deck or a pre-release deck, I open all the packs, organize them by color, and then like kind of sort through them after that. Now I know a lot of newer players, they want to like take the time and look at some of the cards. That's perfectly fine. During pre-release, I believe you do have like 50 minutes to construct your deck. So in like the next Edge of Eternity's pre-release, you'll have plenty of time to construct your deck. Just take your time that you need and actually figure out what deck that you want to play and just have fun with. So cue the time lapse. I'm gonna start cracking packs. Alrighty, so now that we got all of this, organized by color, and if you saw during the time lapse, we didn't really open anything terribly special. But that doesn't mean that our deck is going to be bad. It just means that we have to work a little bit harder to get what we want. Whenever I build a sealed deck or a pre-release deck, I always like to separate our rares and mythics from the rest of the things. Mainly because it makes the deck building a little bit easier, because typically our rares and mythics are our strongest cards. So we want to play, the general idea is that we want to play as many of our strongest cards as we can. Looks like we got these rare. Here we got Seraph Farron, a double face card for 1, a green and a white. Got a legendary creature, Human Citizen, 2/2. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Seraph Farron. And it transforms into the Crystallized Seraph. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. So it's a very legendary matters. I don't think we have a lot of legendary stuff in here, but definitely worth noting. We got a Summon Titan, a 5-mana 7/7 Saga Giant. First chapter, well, it has Reach and Trample. The first chapter, you mill 5 cards. Second chapter, you return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And the third chapter, until end of turn, another target creature you control gains Trample and gets +X/+X, where the X is the number of lands you control. That's pretty strong. Getting a 5-mana 7/7 down as early as you can is very good. Plus we're in green, so it mills you, but it ramps you and it pumps all your team, so that's a pretty good spell in my book. Summon Leviathan, a 6-mana 6/6 with Ward 2 Saga Leviathan. This might go into my Sea Creatures deck. It definitely goes into my Sea Creatures deck after after the first chapter. Return each creature that isn't a Kraken, Leviathan, Merctopus, Octopus, or Serpent into its owner's hand. Chapters 2 and 3, until end of turn, whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent attacks, draw a card. That's very good. So maybe we go in blue. How do you pronounce this name? I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. Firion, Wild Rose Warrior. It is a 3-mana 3/3 legendary creature, human rebel warrior. Rebel's back. Equipped creatures you control have haste, and whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it, except it has this equipment's equip abilities cost 2 less to activate. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next upkeep. So an equipment matters deck. That's pretty neat. We also pulled this foil, the Wind Crystal, so we got 2 crystals here, plus our pre-release promo. So the Wind Crystal, legendary artifact, 4 mana. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so all of our stuff is being discounted. Whenever we would gain life, we gain twice that much life instead, so double our lifelink. And for 6 mana and tap, creatures you control gain flying and lifelink until end of turn. So it kind of like, you just gain a lot of life, which is pretty neat. Astrologian's Planisphere. I don't know what this is. It's an equipment, job select, so whenever it enters you make a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and attach this equipment to it. The equipped creature is a wizard in addition to its other types, and has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, and whenever you draw your 3rd card in a turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It also has equip too. I think I've seen this in a couple Commander games after Final Fantasy released in like a Spellslinger's deck, and it seems pretty good in that because as you cast more spells, and whenever you draw cards, which is what a Spellslinger just wants to do, you're going to make one dude absolutely huge and gigantic. Plus it already comes in with a dude, so you're not like wasting time. So I think that card's pretty neat. Yeah, our second to last rare here is B.R.E.A.D. Boko. It's a legendary human bird. 5 mana 4/3, affinity for birds, so it costs 1 less for each bird you control. I don't think we opened a lot of birds. But when B.R.E.D. Boko enters, each other bird you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. So just like a pseudo removal spell if you have the birds to back it up. And our last rare, we got Aerith Gainsborough. I don't know anything about this character except that she dies. Spoilers, I guess. So she's a 3-mana 2/2 human cleric with lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Aerith Gainsborough, so another lifelink thing would go with the Wind Crystal. When Aerith Gainsborough dies, you may put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith Gainsborough. So it's a legendary, it's a life gain and legendary matters card, so that can go very well if we decide to play Sarah Farron. Now, I also didn't really go over the Fire Crystal. The Fire Crystal, similar to the Wind Crystal, it's a 2 mana and 2 of its colors, so red. Legendary artifact, red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Creatures you control have haste, which is very good. And 6 mana, a 6-mana ability and tap, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So you just make dudes and be aggressive. The typical red thing to do. Now then, the only other things that I really pulled of note, these are all of our multicolored spells. Typically, if we lean into like one or more colors, we like to play these multicolored spells. They're also like signposts. Like typically, like these multicolored spells will tell you which like direction you probably want to take your deck. Like obviously, if you play like white-blue, you're probably going to play a lot of heroes and artifacts. And Sid is a very good card. I think he's like what is it, $5 for a Sid nowadays. So there's a lot of synergies with that. Other than that, I was very surprised. Wastes. I pulled a Wastes, and Wastes are not a very common basic land in Magic. Even though it's a basic land, it's not really like a basic land. It's not like an island or a plains or a swamp, because you can only play Wastes in formats where Waste is legal, and in sealed formats, like what we're doing here, you can only play an amount of Wastes that you have opened in your packs. Like your LGS, or like you bringing lands from home, you can't put Wastes in your deck that you didn't open in your packs. Which I think is a little weird, but a little understandable because Wastes are kind of niche. But I was very surprised that not only do they have Waste in this set, but it's also full art Waste. We also got a bunch of other lands. We got this pretty island here. We got a bunch of other lands, these dual lands that enter the battlefield tapped. We got these capital city that introduces a new land type town. Town doesn't really do anything, but other cards care about towns. Yeah, basically all these dual lands are also towns. We got an Eden, Seat of the Sanctum. Pay 5, tap, mill 2 cards, then you may sacrifice this land. When you do, return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, so it's kind of like a reanimate. Got a Crossroads Village, so it just gives us the mana that we need, and another blue-white land. So, now that we got over the important parts, well, what I consider the important parts of opening all of our packs and making a deck, now we're going to follow the B.R.E.A.D method. And the B.R.E.A.D method, for if you don't know, is an acronym. B.R.E.A.D stands for Bombs, Removal, Evasion, Aggro, and then Dirt or Duds. So basically, we're going to go down the acronym and sort of see what we can build out of this. For the B in B.R.E.A.D, B, bombs. We want to play as many bombs as we can, and typically our rares and mythics are our bombs. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to lay out all of our rares and mythics in our color order and just see where we're at with our bombs, because I know we opened a lot of white and a lot of green, but let me just see what's going on here. Okay, yes. So it looks like we have a pretty fair amount of bombs in all of our colors except black. So black might not be our strongest color here, but we'll see if the removal kind of picks it up. Now that we have our bombs separated, let's go to our R in B.R.E.A.D removal. Now removal means removing cards from the battlefield or removing cards from any other zone from your opponent, just so that your opponent doesn't have access to their cards, like a little bit of disruption. So that could be anything like destroy effects, exile effects, bounce effects. I would even count cards like counter spells to be removal. So I'm going to go through each color and see what we got. Alrighty, so after going through all of our stuff here, it looks like black is definitely our weakest color. So it doesn't have any bombs, and the only removal spell that I see that we have here is this Overkill, which is a very good spell, and it's in foil, but unfortunately, we're gonna need more than one black spell to make a good black deck. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to cut black from our color wheel, which also will get rid of all of our black multicolored spells that we thought about playing. So no Garland, no how the hell do you say this? Ultimecia, and no Lock Coal. So we're gonna set those to the side. Now this does make things a little bit more simple, because since we're ignoring a color, we can just focus on the rest of our colors. What removal pieces did I pick out? Well, firstly, in white, we had a few. We got this white Aura Sight, which is an Oblivion Ring that taps for mana, so I believe that's pretty good. We also got the Slash of Light that deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of equipment you control to target creature. We got a Phoenix down and an Aerith Rescue Mission. Although it doesn't like remove something from the board, we are able to tap up to 3 target creatures with its Take 95 Flights of Stairs ability and put a stun counter on one of them. So it kind of removes them for a turn, which is exactly what we want in white. Now, blue is also pretty weak. Similar to black, we only have this Stuck in the Summoner Sanctum as our removal spell, because when it enters we tap a creature and then doesn't untap and its abilities can't be activated. It is backed up by 2 of our bombs, so we're going to keep blue just for now. Red also had a great showing, much like white, because we've got 2 of these Blazing Bombs, which it's a 1 mana 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, but its main thing is blow up. We can tap and sacrifice it to have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature, activate only as a sorcery. So these things can grow huge, attack in, and then whenever we need to clear the way, we can sacrifice them to deal damage directly to creatures and remove them from the board. We also got this sweet Self-Destruct. I saw this played a very great. I saw a very great play at the pre-release that I ran for Final Fantasy with the Self-Destruct, because somebody was playing the Jumbo Cactuar, attacked in, they blocked it, they flashed in Self-Destruct to deal 10,000 damage to their opponent at instant speed, and there was nothing they could do about it. It was a fun time. We got this Light of Judgment, deal 6 damage to target creature, then destroy up to 1 equipment attached to that creature. That's great, not only is it removal, but it's also artifact removal. And this Thunder Magic, a very versatile instant spell with tiered, so we can either deal 2 damage, 4 damage, or 8 damage to target creature if we pay the respective mana costs. Green is always a little bit lacking in removal. The only removal that I have here is this Colosseum Behemoth, a 7 mana 7/7 with trample, but when it enters, we destroy an artifact or enchantment or draw a card. So the removal is a little lacking in green, but we got the 2 spells, we got the 2 bombs here to back it up. So now that we're done looking at R, oh no, we're not done looking at R, because we also have this multicolored spell. We have Omega here, Heartless Evolution. It is a 7 mana 8/8 robot. When Omega enters, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target non-land permanent that opponent controls, then put X stun counters on each of those permanents, then you gain X life, where X is the number of non-basic lands you control. So it is a big, huge dude that just comes down, taps something down for a few turns, which is kind of removal, and just try to swing face, which I think is pretty good. We also got these 2 Lunatic Pandoras. It's a 1 mana legendary artifact. We can either pay 2 and tap to surveil 1, or pay 6 tap and sacrifice the Pandora to destroy target non-land permanent. I don't really typically play these types of like artifact removal spells unless like we're really lacking in removal, but if we are going in the direction of white and or red, like I see that we're probably going to do, we're probably not going to need or want to play these Lunatic Pandoras, although they are a very nice inclusion for decks or sealed pools that don't have a lot of removal in them. So I'll keep these to the side. Now that we're done with the R and removal, it's time to go for E for Evasion. So Evasion in this context means anything that can help us get through to our opponents. That can be creatures with flying, creatures with menace, anything that makes something unblockable. Just try to put the pressure on our opponents is what the E in Evasion is trying to do. So let's take another look at what we got. Let's go. Oh, I also forgot about Ulthros Obnoxious Octopus, because like, he puts stun counters on stuff. So I'll add him to the removal pile. Alrighty, that went pretty quick. In our Evasion category, we didn't have a lot, but we still had some stuff. In white particularly, we got this Dragoon's Lance. It's a 2 mana equipment, job select, so you make a 1/1 and attach it to the Dragoon's Lance. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and is a knight and introduces other types, but the important part is that during your turn, equipped creature has flying. So it gives a creature flying. We also got a Cloudbound Moogle, which is a 5-mana 2/3 flyer, which is kind of bad, but whenever this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it also has Plane Cycling, which is very good in sealed formats. So you may pay 2 mana and discard this card from your hand to search your library for a Plains card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. So these type of cards are very good in sealed, because if you're playing like more than 2 colors, and you just don't have a Plains in your opening hand, you can just pay 2, discard this card, and go get a land. It's also very helpful in case like you just don't have the 5 mana to cast it, so you can just cycle it away to go get a land, so you can hopefully play something else. Our blue also has some flyers here. So we'll start with the Rook Turret. It is a 4-mana 3/3 construct with flying. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it's a flyer that can attack in and get through to our opponents, which also potentially lets us loot. We also got this Ilmeg Pixie, just a 2/1 for 2 flying fairy, and whenever it attacks, we surveil 1, so a little bit of card advantage there as well as the Shahagin. 2 mana 1/3 whenever you cast a non-creature spell. If at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and it can't be blocked this turn. So it not only gets through, but it also comes in with increasingly more damage. The only thing in our red, which is kind of disappointing, is this item Shopkeep. It's a 2 mana 2/2 whenever you attack, target attacking equipped creature gains menace until end of turn. So we'll only play this spell if we play a lot of equipment, which it doesn't look like that we have a lot of. Unless we go white, we got this Dragoon's Lance over here. But it's like it's a conditional menace, so I probably wouldn't run this unless we are playing an equipment deck, or if we're just light on our 2 mana slot. Our green got a little better here. We got a Blitzball Shot. So target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Trample I would consider evasion, because with the +3/+3, your opponent will either lose out their creature if you're in the middle of blocking, or like things with trample, like my creature's gonna die anyway, might as well let it through. So trample, in my opinion, is an evasion mechanic. Similar to the Summon Fat Chocobo. It's a 5 mana 4/4 Saga Bird with Work, Chapter 1, Work. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever a land you control enters. This token gets +1/+0 until end of turn. In its chapters 2, 3, and 4, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn, which is very nice. So then he grants himself trample to help try and get through. That's basically it in our colors. I was able to find this Iron Giant, a 7 mana 6/6 with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Again, Trample's evasion. We're probably not going to run this unless we're really tied for I don't know, evasion. But just want to call it out, but we're probably not going to run it anyway. So now here's the hard part. We gotta cut a color. We have to cut a color. And me personally, I'm leaning towards cutting blue or green. Green is a little light. Alrighty, so after looking through everything a little bit closer, I don't know. I see an edge case for playing both blue and green. I'm not so sure if we're going to be playing either of these colors. I think we're going to be leaning more towards the Boros. I think we're going to be leaning more towards the white and the red. If I wanted to go 3 color, that's pretty difficult because I would like to play the Serapharin here because we also got this Renoa Heartily here that kind of goes with it. Plus we've got a lot of bird stuff. So I don't know. So I see a case where I play Boros. I see a case where I play Selesnya, Legendaries matters. I also see a case for like Bant, white, blue, green, but just ignoring all of the red, but we got so much removal in our red. So I've made a decision, and it's probably the wrong decision, but we'll never know because we're not playing this deck in any competitive manner. I am deciding to cut green. Green is just, although we got a lot of good cards in green, it just doesn't support what I want to do here. It has some bombs, it has some removal, it has some evasion, but it's just not doing the job that I want it to do. Although our green is pretty good since we got the Serapharin and some other spells in here, I am inclined to ignore our green just because I'm not personally happy with it. So that leaves us with red, white, and blue. I think we're probably just going to do Boros stuff, but well, there's still more in the acronym. We still got A in B.R.E.A.D, aggression. And what aggression means is anything that would like pump up your creatures, anything that would give them first strike, double strike, anything that helped to increase damage output. So let's go ahead and take another look around. All right, well that was easy. Let's go ahead and start again with white. So these Magitech infantries, we only opened one of them, which is kind of disappointing. So we would only run them as a 1-mana 1/1 that this creature gets +1/+1 as long as you control another artifact, which we do play a lot of other artifacts. The Wind Crystal, just for example, we have a lot of equipments in here as well. So we're pretty likely to make it a 2/1 for the duration. And the other ability isn't really relevant. If we had another Magitech infantry, we could pay 3, search our library for a card named Magitech Infantry, put onto the battlefield, tap, and shuffle. So this could be pretty neat if we open more of them, but we didn't, so this is a consideration. It may get cut, it may not. We also got a You Are Not Alone. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more creatures, it gets +4/+4 until end of turn instead. A very neat pump spell. So in a pinch, if we just needed to kill an opponent's creature that's blocking us, or if we just needed to pump up our creatures for the win, it's a very good option at 1 mana, no less. We also got the Crystals Chosen. It's a pretty expensive sorcery. 7 mana sorcery. We're going to create 4 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. So at the very least, we're going to make 4 2/2s for 7 mana, which is already very good. But if we already have a team of guys on the field, then all of our stuff is going to get huge, and that spell will be completely busted. We also got this White Mage's Staff. Job select, so it comes in with a 1/1 creature attached to it. Then equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, you gain a life, and it's a cleric in addition to its other types. So that's all pretty neat here. Let's take a look at our blue. Our blue did get buffed up a bit, so we got these combat tutorials. Target player draws 2 cards, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 1 target creature you control. We got a realm sketching, that's create a token that's a copy of target artifact, creature, or land, just more dudes. Magic Damper, a 1 mana, just kind of like Snakeskin effect. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn, untap it. We got a Sage's Nautilus as our final aggressive, which is 2 mana equipment, job select, so it comes in with a 1/1. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature, and is the cleric in addition to its other types. So that's that. We were also fortunately able to add in all of our red spells. All of our red spells were just good aggression. So we got this Mysidian Elder. Whenever this creature enters, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Not only does it make just a dude that can block, but that dude will also residually deal damage as we cast our spells. We got a Queen, oh no, Queen Queen Brawny. It's a 2/1 with Prowess, so Prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then whenever Queen Brawny attacks, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, the token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So another instance of the Mysidian Elder. So just more stuff. We also got this Haste Magic. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. So not only does it give a buff, it gives haste and Impulse Draw, all for 2 mana. This is very great. Sandworm, I believe, is our last aggressive piece here. It's a 5/4 for 5 with haste. Whenever this creature enters, destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So this can get rid of our opponent's pesky lands, or get rid of a key dual land or a key land that would be obnoxious if not dealt with otherwise. So, with this, let's evaluate a little bit. Alrighty, another decision has been made. I think my original assumption was correct. I think we are just going to run Boros, white, red. I could do America, red, white, and blue, but I typically don't enjoy doing 3 colors in pre-release, especially whenever like the format doesn't really necessitate the means to go 3 colors. Not like Tarkir Dragonstorm, where you literally are given a seeded pack of like every 3 color spell that you need to make a cohesive deck. So I typically enjoy just doing 2 colors, maybe splashing a 3rd if there was anything like really cool that we wanted to splash in. Like maybe if you got like a really cool like blue mythic that was really good, I might want to splash that. But for that, I think we're just going to go red, white, see how we would do in the pre-release. Now that we know what colors we're running and all the good cards that we want to run, let's actually build the deck. Now, how I build the deck, how I begin building a deck is I take all the good cards that we already pulled out and we're going to organize it by mana value. So I'm going to put all the low cost mana value stuff here and move all the way up as we increase. Alrighty, so what I did right now is that I organized everything from our 1 mana value spells all the way up to our 7 mana value spells. Now, although your initial reaction might be, hey, Jared, you're playing not a lot of creatures in this deck. Like I separated all of my creature spells up top and all of our non-creature spells on the bottom. You're pretty light on creatures. You should probably splash and play some more creatures, splash to another color and play some more creatures. Well, in this deck specifically, we got the job selects here. So all of our, So our Dragoon's Lance and our White Mage's Staff, yeah, they're non-creature spells, but they also make a creature when they enter and give all of their buffs immediately. Plus we have some equipment synergies and stuff that cares about casting non-creature spells. So I'm going to count all of our job select cards and count them as creatures, just so we can kind of like artificially buff up our creature count. Now it's also good to note that we don't have any like good like 4-drop creatures. All of our 4-drops here are the Wind Crystal, the Fire Crystal, removal, more removal. So we don't actually have anything to do on our turn 4 actively. So here we got our Weapons Vendor, which is our only 4-drop that we opened in both white and red, which I think is pretty weird. And we also got this Ash, Princess of Dalmatia. Whenever Ash attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. A lot of what we're playing right here is an artifact, so she fits in nicely right in there. Now then, I believe if we look at our handy dandy little guide here, looks like it recommends running 15 to 18 creatures and 5 to 8 other spells. Well, if we count our job select equipments as creatures, as they make a creature, as well as the crystals chosen, which not only makes creatures but buffs everything up, we have completed our goal of getting 15 creatures. Now, we just need to narrow down the remaining 8 non-creatures that are down here below. So let me clean this up a bit. So now that we got our non-creatures out here, we're just gonna go back down through the B.R.E.A.D acronym and make sure that we're not forgetting anything, or just make sure that all of our good cards are being played. So right off the bat, we're going to be playing the Fire Crystal and the Wind Crystal. That's just a given. That's very good, and it can actually help close out some games. And there also are bombs, so we're definitely not getting rid of those. Next, we're going to get our removal. We got our Light of Judgment, we got our Aerith's Rescue Mission, and our White Aura Sight. We also got the Slash of Light and Self-Destruct, as well as the Thunder Magic, and maybe the Phoenix Down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need to get rid of one of these things. I believe that Phoenix Down is our weakest removal spell here out of all of them. Because Thunder Magic, it's just 1 mana deal 2 damage, or 4 mana deal 4 damage, which I think is pretty neat. So that's pretty flexible. I like that. Self-destruct can get us out of pretty sticky situations. Slash of Light is also very good. Of course, we're playing the Fire and Wind Crystal. These are all very good removal spells, and also helps fill out our 4-drop slot. And Light of Judgment is just 6 damage and equipment removal. So I am comfortable keeping these as our 8, and that gives us 23 non-land cards. So now we just need 17 lands. Alrighty, after looking at our white to red balance, it seems pretty even. So I am comfortable playing 7 copies of Plains and 7 copies of Mountain. That makes 14 lands. So to make up the other 3, we get to play the 3 non-basic lands that we opened. So here we got our capital city. It's a town. We can tap it for a colorless, or we can filter 1 mana into it to get 1 mana out, just in case we get stuck on one of our colors for whatever reason. And it also has cycling, so we can pay 2, discard this card to draw a card in case this card is no longer relevant, perhaps in the late game, which I think is pretty versatile. We're also playing this Eden, Seat of the Sanctum. I know we already went over this, but you can tap it for a colorless, or we can pay 5, tap, mill 2 cards, then sacrifice this land. When we do, return another target permanent card from our graveyard to our hand. So if something important of ours dies, or we have a board stall and we have a card in our graveyard that would have really helped, we can just go ahead, plop this down, sacrifice it. Sure, we'll mill 2, but we'll get something important back from our graveyard, which I think is pretty neat. Then our last one, Crossroads Village. Enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. We're in 2 colors, so if we ever get stuck on one of our colors, we can be sure that we have the other one. And with that, I believe we would have a fully functional pre-release deck that would have worked very well if I had been playing in our pre-release instead of Run Ant, which is like the whole impetus of me recording this video in the first place. So I'll just do a quick run through of this deck. I think this deck is pretty neat. It's aggressive. It does everything that we want to do. It follows the B.R.E.A.D method, which is a tried and true method in deck building, as soon as we get through all of these basic lands. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today after building this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed and found it informative. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like on it, go ahead and comment. Like, if you think that I probably would have had a better time in a Selesnya in a white-green deck rather than a white-red deck, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter, and maybe I can learn something too. So, yep, go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you enjoy this content or my other content. I do have some budget commander deck videos that are doing pretty well, even though I really haven't posted. That's a shortfalling of mine. I just don't post a lot. But that's all I got for you guys today. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.